Live from the 607, it's the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour, where we're talking everything going on in the world of sports. Join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag ODPH, because here we go.
Instead of looking deep inside, every word I have to say, keep it simple.
Welcome to an all-new edition of the ODPH podcast. What is happening, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us this week. My name is Ken M. Joining me in studio, as always, you know him. He's the co-host. He's got 1,008 aliases. He's a statistician of the stars. He has so much of a resume, I do forget. But the only thing I need to know, and you need to know, his name is Padawan J.
Let me talk to you.
And boy, we have a lot to talk about in the land of movies, TV, comics, sports, and pro wrestling, and more.
Who do we have to talk about to get the weather turned down up here?
Well, that's
God.
That's the one thing we don't really talk about here on the Parlay of Topics, but this is a fusion edition of the show, which means we're combining the sports and entertainment under one roof this week because there is a lot of stories going on, but it's not enough to really kind of split into two. Mm-hmm. So we're saving you the time and energy to listen to two, but we're making a one-stop shop, and we definitely want to keep those conversations going after the show. So, Pad, where's everybody go?
ODPHpodcast.com.
TeePublic Store link, blogs, social media links, classified section, which has friends of the show such as 3 Fun Podcast, Dragon Master Games, Nerd Initiative, and many more. A directory. Pat, how many providers are we on?
871,854.
And your source?
Trust me, bro.
Statisticians and stars for a reason. So wherever you listen to the ODPH on, first and foremost, thank you for checking us out. It means the absolute world. Leave us a review on your favorite podcatcher. It helps the algorithm of the show. Last and certainly not least, we have a fantastic music section, which features such musicians as Brian Wolf and the Howlers, who has a new vinyl album out.
Hey.
You need to track that down. Also, Tom Jolu doing big things here in the 607. Second Suitor, Shout of the Robots, and Floodlands. And if it's anything else that is in the Parlay of Topics, you can find it at odphpodcast.com. And always remember on social media, if you're using hashtags, why not use the hashtag ODPHpod? Kicking off this edition of the show, we're starting off in the entertainment world, and there is no larger story going on right now than the return of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic Four First Steps came and conquered the box office. Pad, you got some numbers?
I do. So, for the weekend, it was, of course, the number one film at the box office, raking in domestically $117,644,828, beating out the Superman at number 2, Jurassic World Rebirth at number 3, F1, the movie, at number 4, and Smurfs at number 5. For its updated totals as of this recording, domestically, it has made $117,644,828. Internationally, it has made $99,058,811 for a worldwide total of $216,703,639. And for those of you who are doubting the film, reportedly, its budget was $200 million.
Yes, so it's safe to say the MCU is back.
Uh-huh.
With, I don't want to say a vengeance, because I want to see how the second week goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get into this when we go into the deep spoiler talk. But I think what we can safely say during the spoiler-free edition is the MCU and DC Studios are having an amazing July.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Superman is definitely crushing it at the box office.
Yeah.
And inspiring more people to go out and see comic films. And it's a big win for Marvel in this area, too.
Yeah.
So for this opening segment, we're going to break down Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, if you're new to the show, once again, thank you for checking us out. We like to give you a spoiler-free statement of what we're talking about, because if you haven't seen it yet, we don't want to ruin it for you. So we're going to give you our statements on it spoiler-free. At the end of that, we give you a countdown. And you have to be like the Clash. Do you stay or do you go? If you stay, you're going to hear deep dives. You're going to hear theories. You're going to hear complete spoilers. So you have been forewarned. If you need to pause, download the episode, obviously, and pause it. Jump back in after you've seen the film and catch up on what we're talking about. Otherwise, you get spoiled at your own risk. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pad, give me your spoiler-free statement on Fantastic Four First Steps.
So I am not the biggest, Fantastic Four fan. And by that, I mean I haven't read a ton of their comics. I'm not an aficionado when it comes to their backstory and their lore, and I know the basic details and who's who and what's what and what not. But if you ask me, who was the major villain during their run in the 1970s from the month of May to the month of, August, sorry, couldn't tell you. That said, I did enjoy this movie. I thought it made for someone like me who is not super familiar with the characters outside of a surface level knowledge of who they are, what they're about, and kind of just the general overall tone of the family. I thought they made it very easy and very accessible. I was appreciative that we didn't rehash certain things we've seen from prior iterations of this film, but I also liked some of the liberties and some of the choices they made with making it different from the other what do we have? 3 films? Yeah, of the other 3 films. It felt like a love letter to the 60s and that whole era of comics. It's probably the most phase 1 MCU film we've had since I would say maybe Shang-Chi. It's been a while. It's very easy. It's very accessible. My gauge for these movies is, what did my wife think of them? She doesn't go to all of them, but she goes to a good number of them. And she went with me when I went to see this last week, and she enjoyed it. She goes and sees a couple of these. She doesn't go and see all of them. She doesn't really read the comics, but she knows who some of the characters are, and she enjoyed it. She and I kind of had the same agreement. The first third was good. The middle was kind of dry, but it picked up and was really good by the end of it.
So going into this film, we had much hype behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, with the 4 actors who were selected to play the roles. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
Yep.
Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm.
Yep.
Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, a.k.a. The Thing. And, of course, Joseph Quinn playing Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of expectations involved with this, and especially with the era that it was portraying.
Yep.
And I like how you brought it up because it definitely reflected the early Fantastic Four runs of the 1960s. Mm-hmm. I easily define this as the Jack Kirby era.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of his influence in this film. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're not familiar with Jack Kirby because you're a pop culture fan,
yeah,
Jack Kirby and Stan Lee more or less created all the MCU characters you know and love to this day.
Pretty much.
A legend in comics. He's called King for a reason. This was a perfect love letter to his vision of comics. Mm-hmm. So, that said, I really enjoyed this film.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of things that they did right. But I think if you're also looking at it from the pop culture audience, we know the first family, the 4 members, we have a rough understanding of them.
Yep.
Because of the 3 iterations we've seen.
Yep.
They did introduce a few other characters
Sure.
that pop culture might not be familiar with.
Sure.
And one in particular.
That's going to have a very important part in the not-so-distant future.
Yeah, which I thought might be the only thing they did wrong.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
So, that said, if you love the 1960s traditional, vintage, classic era of superheroes, you're going to really love this film. If you are just somebody that watches as a casual MCU fan, it's going to be hit or miss. And there's going to be a lot of things you'll ask questions about, one in particular, which we'll get into in that spoiler talk, but is definitely announcing the MCU is back. And if this is any indication, we have a lot to look forward to for the next phase, whatever. So that said, Pad, let's get into some spoiler talk in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Like I said, I thought the movie was really good. I enjoyed it. It was simple, but that's not a bad thing. I thought it was simple in that it just needed to introduce the characters because, as we know, given the title of the next film coming out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Avengers Doomsday, they're going to have quite a role to play in that next film. So, you got to get those characters introduced. You got to get them rolling on the ball. And Marvel and the entire cast, crew, and whatnot did a really good job at doing that. It made it fun. It made it exciting. The middle could have used a little bit of work, but it's not necessarily the worst thing I've ever seen in terms of like what took place. But it you know what? It could have used maybe an extra 5 minutes of polish. But everyone was incredible. You know, for some of the stuff people were complaining about going into this, especially like the Ben Grimm beard thing, like that ended up being the most nothing burger I've ever seen in my life. You know, and you know, as much as it sucked, what was it, Red Mole? Or Red Ghost. Red Ghost got cut. It would have been great to see, but looking at the way the film played out, I don't know how you would have fit him into the story as it is. Maybe there's some other stuff that got cut along with it that would have made it make more sense. But for what we saw in the film, I wasn't upset that they cut him from the film. But it leaves me real excited to see where things go, you know, down the road with Avengers Doomsday.
See, I think there's two stories with this.
Okay.
One, they really portrayed the Jack Kirby vibe perfectly. No question about that. However, there are certain details they did with this film that, as weird as this sounds, I'm not expecting a sequel anytime soon, and then let alone, I'm not sure how they can pull one off.
Well, that seems to be the general vibe with Marvel in general these days, is we use these characters, you know, in a show, in a movie to introduce them, and then we just use them in whatever properties we need them down the road. That the only thing I think we're supposed to be getting a sequel of from this most recent run of films is Shang-Chi.
Right, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm going to say allegedly at this point because we still don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
But I think for where they went with this film, there was a moment in this as we get breaking it down that more or less the film, using I guess a wrestling term in some degree,
Sure.
they buried the rogues. There's one moment that completely trounced any notion of having a key character of the Fantastic Four history facing them in a sequel, unless they want to go to a more modern run or kind of dabble in that, or keep it Doctor Doom.
Right.
That's the only way you can do it, because when they start breaking it down, especially after something is announced, then it gets, you know, like I say, they did a couple things wrong, and I think for a pop culture audience, they're not going to pick up on it, but the comic audience will.
Sure.
Because where we start off in 1960 on Earth 828. Now, Pad, do you know the symbolism of that?
I do, because they show it at the end of the film. 828 is the birth month and birthday of one Jack Kirby.
Yeah, so this is officially the Kirby verse.
Yep.
As far as
Which
I go.
dig that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. They go and they explain about Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm going on their space mission, coming back with powers, and basically becoming the popular team that they are in the comics.
Because as this movie starts, it's on the 4th anniversary of when they went to space and got their powers.
Correct. So they did a time jump. They didn't do a reset that we had to see the origin.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, they played it smart.
Please, unless it's somebody new that has been created in, I'd say, the last 10, 15 years, and this is for DC and Marvel, we don't need to see these characters' origins again.
Yeah, I think.
Please.
I think that they were very smart about this.
Yeah, they were.
And that's one thing that you really want to make sure as you're catching the audience. I mean, Matt Shackman, who did the film, I think was very aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
And really just wanted to get down to business, and especially jumping in 4 years, getting a rough idea of what they've done and a little explanation, seeing how they're celebrities. It really played a factor, and especially it wound up leading into where they are at this stage, because Sue Storm is now a diplomat.
Which was very interesting.
That was awesome.
Especially the seat that was left open at the, what is it, the Future Foundation?
The Future Foundation.
There was a certain seat for a certain country that starts with an L that was left empty.
Yeah, Latveria was the only country that was not represented. The Future Foundation.
Boy.
But more or less, they've united the world in peace, except for, you know.
Except for a certain individual.
Yeah. So
why?
Reasons. Well, we thought we'd get an explanation of that, and we didn't.
I think we might down the road.
Oh, we will down the road, right?
Yeah.
With how it ended, yeah, we'll get one. But at this moment, though, we're seeing a lot of what makes them celebrities and kind of celebrating that portion of their lives.
Reed Richards gets his own TV time, whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, and he's doing.
We have breaking news, because this happens a couple times throughout the movies. Breaking news from Reed Richards.
Yeah. So, well, at this stage, they're the only superheroes on the planet.
Right.
We have to keep that in a context, because they did not say, okay, they're part of a shared universe or anything like that.
I just think it's wild for Reed Richards, who, admittedly, smartest dude on the planet, smartest dude in the Marvel Comics universe. So, although you can have that debate, I'm sure some people will.
Sure.
But the fact that, like, if it's anything earth-shattering, like, hey, I've got to tell the people this is what's going on, this is what we're going to do, okay, Totally understand that. Totally buy that. Hey, I need to show off my latest invention. Break into your daytime soap operas. It's kind of wild.
It is, but I mean that's something that it's a very Stan Lee and Jack Kirby story.
Sure.
Like that's something I'm used to seeing.
Sure.
Nonsense like that in the '60s comics. So I wasn't, like I said, that didn't throw me off as much. But we do see how they're having the family dynamic, and they're now at the Baxter Building and having a family dinner. And this is the infamous scene where they discover. Well, first and foremost, we find out that Sue Storm is pregnant.
Yep.
And this is after they've been trying for some time.
Couple of years.
Yeah, they were kind of alluding to. So.
Yep.
So this is a joyous occasion. The family's celebrating.
Yeah.
And this causes Reed Richards to go
into full Reed Richards mode.
Yeah, which
I get it.
I get it, but this is where I also allude to the point about the rogues. Because Reed is more or less taken over the city, and he has like drones in the air.
He basically, because there's a decent amount of time that passes.
Yeah, they do a lot of time jumping.
There's a lot of time jumping in this movie. This movie doesn't take place over one night, a couple weeks, whatever. This movie takes place over a couple of months, where during this time they're doing a couple things. They're baby proofing the Baxter Building.
Yep.
Everything you would expect. Plugs on the locks, baby gates on all the stuff. It's a funny comedic scene where Herbie's running around trying to do all this while Reed's prepping. But the thing that's going on in the background that we don't see is Sue is very far along by the time the baby prep is all done. I hazard a guess at how far along she is, but I don't know. She's far along that she's showing. And at that point, they're like, oh, this is going to cut into our work and all this. And Reed's like, don't worry, I took care of it. So meanwhile, this has been going on. He's been doing research and investigative work into their rogues, and he's coordinated with the local police force. And basically, all of the villains in New York City are being arrested at the exact same time.
Yeah, it's a moment reminiscent of Breaking Bad.
Kinda.
Or
the one scene from, what is it, the second Dark Knight movie?
Yeah.
Where it's the entire, all the lawyers and all the criminals in the court case together.
It's a very intricate scene.
Yeah.
And they more or less announce every single rogue that's in that Fantastic Four area
has been arrested.
Puppet Master.
Yeah.
Diablo, Wizard, Red Ghost. So that was John Malkovich's character.
Right.
They take literally everybody off the board.
Right.
So that's where I go, how are you going to do a sequel if you now are saying that these villains who have given the Fantastic Four fits over the years are taken out at once?
No, they're not taken out as in they're donezo. They could break out.
They could break out, but still, at this point, though...
Court case with a really good lawyer.
To name drop them, it kind of it defers them if they're just taken out by his drones or whatever.
I think it just wanted to remove them from the board for this film in particular.
Yeah, but...
But down the road,
they didn't need
to.
That was the whole thing. You didn't need to.
Yeah.
You could have just left it as, this is it.
Yeah.
So I feel that this is going to come back to haunt them a little bit if they want to go to a sequel. It just depends on who they want to use. But there are a couple options.
Sure.
But we'll have to wait
and see. But it also
depends
depends on what happens to this universe in the future. This could all be a moot point in 2 years.
Oh, sure. Oh, of course. But we have to wait till we see there. But I think in the present time as we're talking, no, they dropped the ball with that.
Yeah.
But this is also when the family is kind of celebrating a little bit. And
they're like, Mazel Tov.
Yeah. And we do see the orange sky appear overhead.
Like we saw in the trailers.
Yeah, so this is the infamous trailer scene where their Silver Surfer comes to Earth. And this is where things start picking up steam a little bit because Julia Gardner, who's playing Shala Bal in this universe's landscape as Silver Surfer, is giving the message of how she heralds Galactus. She's heralding the death of the planet.
Your planet's been marked.
And this is where Johnny Storm takes off to chase her. And this is where we see a lot of the same scenes that we've seen in all the trailers.
Yep.
So they know that they are doomed for destruction. He winds up flying into space. She mouths something to him in another language.
Yep.
And he winds up coming crashing down.
Because he's lost his powers. Because, there's no oxygen in space.
Exactly.
And how does fire get fed? Oxygen.
Yeah. So he comes back. Reed now immediately goes in to start cutting into tracks and messages are coming through about how Galactus is moving because he has no idea who Galactus is, just as the devourer of worlds.
Yep.
So as he's cutting into this, he's starting to get a lot of information and tracking down where they're going.
Yep.
So he decides to lead a mission to go confront him.
Well, I think that initially it's not necessarily a confronting thing. It's let's scout and figure out what we can do.
Well, I think at that
Johnny wants to punch him in the face.
Well, they all want to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they work.
But I think Reed's primary first objective is we don't know who or what this Galactus is. Let's go find out before we go into this fight blind.
Yeah, so they wind up tracing the Silver Surfer's flight pattern.
Yep.
And they use a little high-tech light speed jumping.
Yeah, say it's hyperspace.
Yeah, to go there. So they wind up going to Galactus's ship,
which is in another galaxy, mind you. They're not they name dropped the galaxy, but I forget what it is, but they're not in our galaxy.
Yeah. So, but at this point though, they bring the Fantastic Four on board, and we get the first real shot of Galactus, played by Ralph Ensign. And this is straight out of the comics.
Yep.
Perfect. I had no issues about this whatsoever. So Galactus is on there, and he's talking about his hunger, and this is what drives him to eat planet energy.
Yep.
So he's been doing this for so long, but what really tips him off about this Earth is the unborn child of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and he can sense about the immense cosmic power the baby has and how it will be able to handle his hunger,
right,
freeing him from it.
Well, they try hiding from him before they even show up on the thing because they're scouting the ship. Reed has Sue turn the ship invisible. It doesn't make a difference because they get detected anyway. And once they get pulled into it's either when they're getting pulled in or as they get pulled in, he scans the ship and he scans all four of them. But then the scan lingers on Sue's stomach. And at that point, the kid is detected. And at that point, he's like, oh, I'm real interested in this.
Yeah.
Because he knows who it is or what it is.
So he offers a deal with them. Earth can stay intact. He'll leave it alone.
Just give me the kid.
But he wants the child. Obviously,
they say no.
This does not happen. So they have to escape.
Because he's induced Sue into labor.
Yeah. So they're now making a mad dash back to Earth, who's...
Well, first they make their way back to the ship.
Yeah.
All the meanwhile, they've got Galactus ready to rip their head off. Silver Surfer is ready to blow them to smithereens.
Yep.
You've got Reed carrying Sue, while Johnny, who's on limited oxygen supply with the spacesuit Reed has created for him, and the Thing is fighting as well. Make it back to the ship, take off into hyperspace. Problem solved. We're out of harm's way, right? No, Silver Surfer follows him through.
Yeah, so it's kind of a little trippy scene going on here as
I
they're
loved
escaping.
it.
And yeah, it was fun. I mean, I thought the pregnancy, inducing labor, I should say, rather, that was a little wild. But, that's something I could see in one of those 60s comics if they wanted to do it. So this was probably the most Disney moment of the film, I would say.
Yeah.
Just because it's hijinks ensuing during a death-defying escape.
Yeah.
But they wind up hot-shotting off a black hole that winds up sucking in the Silver Surfer.
Well, yeah, because their device for hyperspace gets damaged.
Yeah.
So they can't do that. I think they end up detaching and leaving that behind. All the meanwhile, they're still fighting the Silver Surfer. All the meanwhile, Sue's still in the process of giving birth. They come upon a black hole. And Reed comes up with the idea of, get close enough to the black hole and the Silver Surfer will get sucked into it and will be stuck there until she can escape. Oh, how long is that going to take? Oh, it's probably going to take her about a month. So they go through the whole process. Silver Surfer does end up getting trapped in the black hole. Problem is, they don't have enough fuel to get home. Reed comes up with the idea, by the way, did I mention Sue's still in labor during all of this? He comes up with the idea, slingshot around the black hole. That'll give us enough propulsion to get back home. They do it. They end up back home. Problem is, and I picked up on this. I don't know if you picked up on this. They'd been gone for a month at that point.
Yeah, because
so that was the entire month that the Silver Surfer would have been trapped in the black hole. So I'm like, well, Silver Surfer ain't going to be far behind.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, that was something you have to adapt to the times.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all for nothing.
Yep.
So they come back to Earth.
Heroes welcome. Yeah, they're back. They did it. Let's have a press conference.
Yeah, and this is one thing I will say. I was not impressed with Pedro Pascal's performance as Reed Richards.
Okay.
I don't think he really nailed it as far as Reed doesn't catch the temp in the room a lot. Mm-hmm. And for him to address the public and really give the statement about they wanted my son, so Galactus would leave us alone. I felt that they kind of dropped the ball here because for as media savvy at this time
that they appear to be,
and they
got a PR rep.
Yeah, they have a PR rep. That why did they address it there, and especially Reed, who is not so slick on explaining things to the public? They're letting him say about, well, yeah, they wanted our son, but we're not going to give him up.
Right. Well, I think there was probably a better way he could have said that, but just him in that moment didn't know what to say other than here's the truth.
Yeah. Like I said, his performance in this, I don't think he nailed Reed. I just think that he tried adding too much humanity into Reed. And not saying Reed is stone cold, but he's more driven by his own scientific wonder than anything. So when this happens, it kind of fell a little apart, but this is where the public now turns on Fantastic Four.
Lord have mercy, yeah, they do.
Because they're saying, well, one life to save billions.
Yeah.
And it's...
Don't we have a say in this?
What's that?
Well, no, I'm saying this. The public is basically the public is basically like, hey, we got families too. Don't we have a say in this?
Oh, exactly, and that's the problem that they had because the Fantastic Four is trying to become the governing force, and make the decisions for the world, and this is where Reed misses that completely. But with how it was portrayed, that's why I said I thought they missed the mark because Reed would have just been very cold and wait, why are you mad?
Yeah,
and I don't think he did that. I think he was trying to be too sympathetic in the role. Yeah, in this moment, which.
To me, he was more lost and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until he got a singular focus in mind of I need to do this that he knew what to do, and he kind of collected himself because from the entire time of, the kid being born, Franklin being born to, once he got that goal in mind, he just seemed like he was lost and had a little bit of PTSD.
Well, you could say that. I mean, that's one thing when he first encounters him in the comics.
Because to me, at least the way it's portrayed, they've never lost up to this point.
Right.
They've never suffered a defeat or basically been told no. It's always been, hey, yeah, we've had people defy us, but we fought them and won in the end, and that this is the first time that they're actually facing some pushback.
Well, this is where I think they really dropped the ball with him, too. Because in the comics, when Galactus is coming...
Yeah,
he locks himself away from the team and is working on the Ultimate Nullifier, which is a weapon that takes him down.
Right.
In this, he kind of just disappears in his own studies, trying to decipher a way to get Galactus away or save everybody. And I really thought they missed this part, especially when Johnny is now the one breaking down the Silver Surfer's language.
Yeah, that was the only part of that I was like, it didn't quite work for me.
Well, that's the thing. He typically doesn't do this.
Right.
I mean, he will dabble a little bit in the scientific aspect.
Right, but he's not exactly breaking the code on an alien language nobody's ever deciphered.
Yeah, see, this is where I thought was kind of a little... We're just giving Joseph Quinn something to do.
This is like, if we're talking comics, this would be like a Reed, Tony, and Banner come together with this.
Absolutely.
Or hell, even Beast.
Yeah, the fact that it was Johnny, it was we're trying to make Johnny the connecting force with the Silver Surfer and the humanity that she is going to learn, because in the comics they have Alicia Masters that does this.
Right. Well, and it also felt like the whole thing with Johnny and the Silver Surfer, just because for what would you say, like a half hour, 45 minutes of this movie, it's like they're trying to put together a love interest between the two.
Yep.
And it just never happens, and it just kind of gets left by the wayside.
Oh, completely.
Which I understand for the movie, you got to have a love interest. You can't exactly do it with Reed and Sue because they're together already. They're going to have a kid. Like, okay, fine, but why Johnny and Silver Surfer?
I just felt they were trying to really force some material to him.
Yeah.
To make instead of Human Torch being the hothead, no pun intended.
Right.
But he's usually one to go flying in first and acting later and not thinking rationally.
Yeah.
So to see him kind of do this, I thought this kind of felt forced.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so he's the one that breaks the code.
Right.
And
over the course of a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, admittedly, doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, so while they're working on this, Sue Storm is the one that takes on the public outcry.
Right. Well, because she starts to realize that Reed has considered taking Galactus up on his offer. And he's like, no, I haven't. She's like, yes, you have. I know you, and I know the way you think.
Yeah.
And she's pissed.
See, I thought Vanessa Kirby played this role extremely well.
Oh, she nailed it.
Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about her performance because I think she really got the character Sue Storm. And especially now being in this diplomat position, I thought she's the one perfectly to address the nation.
Yeah.
She should have been the one talking to the world when they came back.
Because the entire time they come back, there is a growing mob outside of the Baxter building.
Yeah, so she winds up going there, and she is basically saying the one thing that Reed won't say is, we will save you. Because that's the infamous scene from the trailers that we've seen, is they go, are we safe? And Reed says, I don't know.
Right. Well, and she tells the crowd, I'm going to protect my kid, but we're also going to protect you.
Yeah, so she nails this point. And
that was the only thing for me that she just says this one line, we're going to protect our child, but we're also going to protect you. And all of a sudden, the crowd that has been ravenous for days, weeks, however long it is all of a sudden like, oh, okay, sure. That was the only thing that for me that was kind of like, really?
But you have to think about it this way. There's only one superhero team on this world.
Yeah.
They would not confirm that they could stop this.
Right.
Once the public got the official word, we can stop this, what are they going to be mad about?
Yeah.
So now they put all the pressure on them to stop Galactus.
Right.
One way or another. So no, this made sense because Sue is that voice of reason. She's the one who's united world peace. Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah.
So her saying that's the cosign the world needed. So that's why I say I understand this portion.
Okay.
But what I don't get, and I thought, they kind of tipped their hand a little bit with this. Earlier in the film, as you were alluding to, when Reed Richards is doing a scientific experiment, he's also messing around with teleportation. Mm-hmm. And what he does is he gets the inspiration about this teleportation that he can move Earths into another solar system, and Galactus can't find him.
Well, because he gets the idea. He's been working in teleportation. He teleports an egg like 6 feet across the room.
Yeah.
And then because they're trying to figure out how to stop Galactus, and given the size, given the power, they're like, how the hell are we going to do this? He goes, to quote Patrick Star from SpongeBob, why don't we just take the Earth and move it someplace else?
Yeah.
So his idea is to teleport the Earth into another galaxy, another solar system, whatever it is. He doesn't say where, but he says, it's within 2% of the habitable zone, and that'll delay Galactus from finding us for millions of years.
Yeah.
Or so you think.
Well, they think, it's a long shot, but this is where Reed is not thinking clearly.
No.
And they're showing his panic a little bit.
Yeah. Which,
had they done this when he did the press conference the first time, I think it would have made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they now come up with a plan to do this through the Future Foundation, peace treaties. Mm-hmm. Sue has now organized everybody to donate materials.
Because it's a project unlike anything that's ever been attempted.
Yeah, they're going to have to try a worldwide blackout or power saving.
Well, because the way when Reed tries to use the teleporter in the Baxter building on a small scale, it sucked out the power for the entire New York State area after, what do you say, like 15 seconds? Mm-hmm. He goes, we try this on the world, it's never going to work. So that's when they do the whole energy conservation thing.
Yeah.
Which is where the Ben Grimm thing beard comes from, because they're cutting power, and Johnny says, you look good with a beard.
Yeah. See, I thought they played off their interactions very well too.
Yeah.
Like that's right out of the Kirby comics.
Oh yeah. Well, the whole scene with them in the bedroom wanting to go talk to Reed and Sue, and they're like, no, you go do it. No, you go do it. That was great.
Yeah, they had a lot of funny moments together, which they play off each other very well. Like I say, I thought they did an amazing job capturing that, because even with the stakes as high as they are, they stay true to the family bond throughout. And I thought they nailed that point with this film too, especially because then as everything's about to get activated, the Silver Surfer has now come back to Earth.
Yep.
And she starts taking them out.
Oh, in rapid succession.
Yeah, because they completely miscalculated their time. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, what are we going to do? And then Johnny stops her from taking out the one in Times Square. Mm-hmm. And this is where I thought they played a little too much into Johnny Storm's brief interactions with the Silver Surfer. Mm-hmm. Because over the airwaves, he's now pumping in the message that she gave him.
Yeah, he's hacked into every billboard, the digital billboard in the city.
Yeah, whatever they have going on, especially for being the 1960s, I thought they were very, very technologically advanced.
They have flying cars.
Yeah, like I say, there was a lot going on.
There's a deviation from our timeline, that's for sure.
Oh, completely. So during this, he's now playing the the saying that she was saying about being with those you love.
Yep.
And this now allegedly, after all this brief time, unlocked her memories of being on Zen La with her planet and the quick origin story of how she got recruited for Galactus.
Sure.
And I thought I thought a couple things with this.
Okay.
One, super quick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the comics, this is when Alicia Masters comes in and wins over the Norrin Rad Silver Surfer.
Right.
So I got it, but I did not like it in the sense that Johnny, who has had all about, 15 minutes interaction maybe?
With her, yeah, give or take.
Okay. He's the voice of reason?
Yeah.
Like, I did not like how quick the setup, but they needed somebody to be it. It made sense for Johnny in this moment. However, this being what turns Shalabal against Galactus, I thought was a little too much. But
I mean, it reminded me a little bit of the scene with Vader and Luke in Return of the Jedi, where Vader by that point had been evil and horrifically evil for give or take 20, 25 years or so. You know, we don't know how much time passed between when Shalabal, essentially sacrificed herself to become the Silver Surfer and when this is taking place. So it could have been millennia or however long it is. And she's kind of buried the memories and forgotten about them and, whatever else. And all of a sudden the memories and everything else with the messages that got sent out kind of dug them up and remind her because she hears these messages played back and she takes off.
Yeah. So she's now getting overloaded with emotion.
Yeah.
That we don't know how long that's been buried.
Right.
So they do buy some time.
Yep.
But Reed goes, we only have one teleporter left.
Conveniently in Times Square in New York.
Yep, which, like I say, this is a Jack Kirby Stan Lee story to the letter. Like anything that's so coincidental.
Yeah.
That's a lot of how that 1960s comics were, which is fine. I'm not meaning that as an insult by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of convenient storytelling going on here, but it reflects the time it was done in the homage. So not super upset about this. So they come up with a plan, but this is now involving Franklin.
Yeah, because all of a sudden Sue realizes, well, we got to do the one thing I don't want to do to draw Galactus in because otherwise he's not going to come.
Yep. So they're going to put him in the center of the teleporter to draw in Galactus because once he steps a foot in there, he's going to get teleported to a new universe.
You hope. Well,
they're hoping.
They're hoping they're in a new universe at some point. I was like, listen, teleport him to the edge of the known universe and just put him at the walls.
Well, I think at this point it was going to be their escape plan. So they were like, well, if we don't have to leave, we're not going to leave. We'll just get rid of him. So this is where they come up with the massive evacuation plan. And they get involved with one Harvey Elder. And Pat, who is Harvey Elder?
He is Mole Man. He is the leader of the underground city of Subterranea.
Yep. The original Fantastic Four first villain played by Paul Walter Hauser.
Wonderfully, mind you.
Yeah, but one thing I'm going to say about the film, though, too short.
Yeah.
Too short a time in this.
Sure.
To get the billing he did. I mean, he deserved it. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Great in the moments he was in. But I thought for being the first villain to try really explaining Subterranea, they didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
But because I thought we've seen on the bonus scenes, they did the homage to the first cover where you had the big monster that came through the city. And they never showed that here.
Yeah.
So I thought they tried tightening up too much, but Mole Man takes everybody underneath because obviously he's like,
Galactus is large. He's going to go, because the point they realize is when they're formulating this plan for how to Galactus and the portal and blah, 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 they're like, this is X number of blocks from the water. There's a lot of, I think they give a number, whatever it is. It's a large number. There's X number of people that live in between here and there. That's going to be a lot of casualties. And they're like, well, what if we use Subterranea? And they negotiate a deal with Subterranea so that the citizens of New York can go underground and out of harm's way. They hope.
So they wind up cleaning the city out.
I did love the one line during negotiations, though, between Mole Man and Reed, where Mole Man's like, what's in this for me? Why should I care? I'm underground. And Reed is basically like, I've seen how it works. It starts underground.
Yeah. So it's a little fun moment, but it gets the job done.
Yeah.
City's evacuated.
Yep.
We see when they have that last moment on Earth too, everybody's spending it a different way. We did see a little interaction between Ben and Rachel Rosman's played by Natasha Lyonne. I thought she was going to be Alicia Masters, but not.
Nope.
But she is a teacher. So like they have their kind of romance that they're teasing as well too.
Yep.
And it kind of just put a little more humanity into the story. That showed, okay, even with all the superhero shenanigans going on, they still want to care about the world too. So as Galactus comes to Earth, I thought they nailed it perfectly.
Yeah.
They showed how towering he is over everything.
Dude takes his time to get there, though.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Well, I mean, when you're that size,
yeah.
I mean, he's gigantic.
True.
So it makes sense that he's going through the city and he's about to step in there to go get Franklin, but he realizes it's a trap.
Yeah, because they do the bait and switch at the last second, which, how did you not think this was going to happen?
Well, for being the smartest person in the world, Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, not so much.
Yeah.
Completely. I was going to say, did not pull off the read perfectly. But he winds up catching the bait and switch because at this point Franklin's in the Baxter building.
Yep.
He goes, starts getting him, and then he's planning on making the escape. This causes all of the Fantastic Four to go after him.
Which was a great battle scene.
Oh, completely. I thought for showcasing all the powers, and even Reed Richards, who's, I mean, let's face it, stretching can be a little corny.
Yeah, a little bit.
They nailed it. They did everything they needed to with him. It's a great fight sequence, especially when you start seeing Galactus start tearing him apart. So that was a little wild scenario, but this is where Sue Storm really got to show how powerful she is. And a lot of times we don't see this in the comics.
Yeah.
But this is when she's using all of her powers to start shoving him towards the portal. And I know some people were saying, well, she's not that powerful. She can be.
Yeah.
But they have never really pushed that level, no pun intended, in the comics. A few times they have. Like, she reminds me a lot of Bobby Drake's Iceman.
Yeah.
They have so much unlimited potential, but a lot of times, for whatever reason, it's just never been showcased in this manner.
Yeah.
So this I had zero problem with.
Nope.
So as they're starting to shove it, you're seeing that
Ben's running through the pillars on the building because Galactus is holding on to anything and everything he can to stay in this city.
Yeah, so they're doing a unified effort. Johnny Storm, though, is ready to sacrifice himself because when Galactus starts holding on...
Well, Galactus goes through the portal and they're like, yeah, we won the day, hooray! Hand comes through, Galactus ain't done yet.
Yeah.
And at that point, Johnny realizes what's going on and Johnny has to make the sacrifice. And I sat in the theater and I went, oh shit, they're going to do it. Because it had crossed my mind about, the spoiler alert, the death of Johnny in the comics. And I'm like, oh shit, they're going to kill Johnny. But no, he doesn't. He gets subverted, I guess you could say, because who comes flying out of the air to save the day?
Shalabal. So, at this moment, I didn't think they were going to do that because I knew Shalabal was coming back.
Right.
Because that's the one thing. If you read the comic, the Silver Surfer was going to get involved. Because by this point, Reed has grabbed Franklin and got him away. So Franklin's completely out of sight. And the team is now going completely united against him. But Sue Storm overexerts herself. And as the last push gets Galactus through the portal, she dies.
Yep.
Now, I was like, hear me out when I say this.
Okay.
I was happy that they showed this.
Okay.
Because had she just been fine or a little phased,
sure,
that would not have reflected the amount of power she had to use
to
do this.
Oh, sure.
So I was glad she was unalived at this moment. And then when they put Franklin by her,
oh yeah,
I immediately went, oh, this is how she's coming back.
Oh yeah.
Because the one thing that this whole movie never does well is explain how powerful Franklin Richards is.
Well, because this is the one time he shows his powers. Because the entire time of this film, from the point of they find out Sue's pregnant, up through the birth, up through this battle, Reed has been doing every single test he knows of, and I think he even said he invented a few of them.
Yeah.
And because she's superpowered, he's superpowered, logistically, they figure, all right, the kid's going to be powered. But under every test he did, they're like, he's not powered. He's not powered. But they get to Galactus, and Galactus is like, no, he's got powers. He's just hiding them right now because he doesn't want you to know. So they get back to Earth. Keep running tests. Nothing. It wasn't until this point that he showed the powers, and admittedly, wasn't entirely clear unless you knew who the character was that he's the one who did it. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, it looks like the Watcher or some unknown cosmic force got involved and just through some voodoo magic brought her back.
Yeah, because if you're not familiar in the comics, Franklin Richards might be the most powerful person in the MCU.
What's that one Ariana Grande song? I want it, I got it. That's what Franklin does. He wants it, yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, I have actually a video eventually coming out this week on Nerd Initiative explaining this.
Okay.
But in a short examples, he, as a child, like as a literal 4-year-old, punked out Mephisto.
Ah,
And I mean...
probably deserved it.
It's a classic John Byrne story, but it's one that, yeah, he absolutely decimates him.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have to remember Heroes Reborn. Mm-hmm. So this is when the Avengers and Fantastic Four disappeared from the comics universe. Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee came back to do it for a year. Yeah, how they escaped? Oh, subconsciously, Franklin created a pocket dimension.
Well, the other thing, too, is let's not forget, because I was watching a couple of videos on Franklin just to familiarize myself with the kid. At one point, he turned Galactus into his herald. Like, think about that for a minute. He took a cosmic being and turned him into his herald.
When he was older. But yes, but same thing. Same thing. No, like I say, his story is very interesting. Mm-hmm. And the fact that...
You thought Valeria was nuts. Well, we'll just wait, folks.
Oh, yeah, like I say... however they want to deep dive into Franklin Richards is going to be... a very unique point in the MCU history.
Oh yeah.
Comic wise, like I say, it's a little complicated. I did some examples there on the Nerd Initiative video, so you can check that out when it comes out this week on Nerd Initiative YouTube. But in the meantime, though, Franklin is the one who brings Sue back, and you can see because the powers, her eyes turn purple. And that kind of reflects a little bit of like Galactus powers because he did the same thing.
Yep.
There is a point in the comics that it's a rumored that Franklin actually is Galactus.
Oh.
So, like I say, I thought they were going that route, which I was like, oh my God, like that's kind of a stretch. And that's how they explain his full circle in X, Y, and Z because Galactus is around for so many years, he doesn't remember his past.
Right.
So it's not to say it's out of the realm of thought. Now, will they do that here?
Probably not.
I don't think so, but I'm going to say maybe. I'll give it 10% on it.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, the world is saved.
Yep.
They time jump another year.
So now it's the 5th year anniversary.
Yep. So now they're celebrating that on the Ed Sullivan-esque talk show that they're doing.
Yeah.
Which they're trying to give Franklin a little baby Fantastic Four suit.
Well, they want to give him a onesie, and they want to rename him the Fantastic Five.
Yeah, which...
And he even goes, the host even goes so far as to introduce them as the Fantastic Five.
Yeah. So that falls very short because they get called away for a mission.
They get an alert on their watch.
Yeah, and that's where the movie ends. But then there's a bonus scene. And this is the one that got the internet talking a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think this was the Earth Shatterer that some people thought it was going to be. But we do jump 4 years ahead. So
Franklin's 4 years old?
Yep.
And or 4 or 5, something
yeah.
like that.
And Sue is reading with him. He's been reading stuff way past the 4-year-old
I
level.
think I caught he wants to read a book, and she picks one up, and she goes, oh, no, not that one. He read that one yesterday. If I caught the cover right, I think he was reading Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Which is wild for a kid that young.
Yeah, but he's just at that advanced intellect.
Oh, yeah.
For what he's doing. So she winds up taking off to go get a book.
Out of the kitchen.
Out of the kitchen, comes back, and there is a man with a green cloak.
She senses a disturbance, or there's a disturbance in the room, yeah.
Yeah. Who's holding a metal mask.
And
that is who, Pad?
Dr. Doom.
Yeah, so...
Presumably it's Robert Downey, but they never show the face.
They never show the face.
Because it'd be an expensive face to show.
Well, I mean, I think at this stage, money is not a thing to them if they brought him back for 2 films.
Yeah, true.
So I would say maybe this is going to be the first scene of Avengers Doomsday. Because they could have done that, and that would have doubled up for that.
Could be.
But we don't get a real explanation about how we got to New Avengers, a.k.a. Thunderbolts.
Right.
In that bonus scene.
Well, the thing that did come out, I saw today, was that the director, Shackman, was not aware of the bonus scene in Thunderbolts when making this film. So one could plausibly guess, until they say otherwise, this movie takes place before Thunderbolts, and at least most of Thunderbolts, and then the last little bit takes place the last little bit of Thunderbolts is what takes place after this bonus scene.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, we got to wait and see about it. But I think for the meantime, though, we do get a very solid film. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of things to take home and really enjoy with this.
Yeah.
I thought for the casting, they did, 3/4 of them did a really good job.
Oh, yeah.
Pedro just did not sell me as Reed Richards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I think he just approached it with a different take.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the other three really nailed their characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eban was a perfect Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
Throughout this film. And I think that they really adapted the source material, and that's why it worked, because you have to remind yourself, if you're a comic reader, this is 1960s, this is Jack Kirby, Stan Lee. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of stuff that is reasons,
yeah,
but it makes sense in that token.
Mm-hmm.
If it in that sense, rather.
Yeah. I have the quote from Matt Shackman. So this is from an interview he did with cinemablend.com. The article reads partway through. Cinema Blend's own Jeff McCobb recently broached that subject in an interview with director Matt Shackman during the Los Angeles press day for the new 2025 movie. And the filmmaker gave an honest answer. He couldn't connect the end of his movie to the end of the blockbuster, also known as The New Avengers, because that movie's end credit scene didn't exist when the script was being written, said Shackman. Quote, No, because the Thunderbolts end credit scene was also created, relatively late in my process too. So that was not something that I was familiar with because it hadn't been created at that time I was working on my script, I often use the metaphor of it's, like a relay race, right? You pass the baton, you run your section off it as hard and fast as you can. You do the best with your version of Fantastic Four, Earth 828, this world, and then you pass the baton, in this case, to the Russo brothers, close quote.
Well,
so when he was writing his script, that scene hadn't been created yet.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of odd, though. They still ran with it.
Yeah.
Seems,
and it also seems messy.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Like, usually Feige and company are very, very on point.
Mm-hmm.
This one, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for what they needed to do, you needed to wipe away the past three movies of Fantastic Four.
Oh, Lord.
Really connect it to the audience. They did a great job with that.
Yeah.
And they really set the stage for a dramatic entrance for them into the MCU whenever they want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of how we get from point A to point B.
Yep.
But in the meantime, though, it's a truly entertaining film.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that you can really fall in love with these characters, and especially go check out the older comic stories.
Yeah.
Because they do, as quirky as they are, the Fantastic Four is always quirky.
Oh, yeah.
But they do put on some great stories, and especially trying to stretch and adapt Franklin Richards, that is going to be a task unto itself.
Mm-hmm.
But very happy with what we saw here. Pad, what about your thoughts on this?
Like I said, I really dug it. I'm interested to see where the story overall goes with the next film in Avengers Doomsday. I've got a hunch because I know it was referenced at one point early in the film by Richard Reed. He does mention multiverse.
Yeah.
So presumably, since and it was on one of his broadcast breaking news to the world things, so presumably how we're going to end up in the 616 is Dr. Doom's going to take his kid, and that's why they run over there. But no, I thought the film was good. It did a real good job of introducing the characters and kind of getting everything set up. Was it perfect? No, but I still enjoyed it, and it was probably the best Phase 1 film they've done in quite some time in terms of establishing a new set of characters and kind of wiping the palette, as one would say, from prior iterations.
Yeah, I definitely have to think about that. So if you got to put a grade on it, what are you giving it?
I would say out of 10, probably a 7.5 or an 8. It was good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would say I lean towards an 8 because I'm a Kirby fan.
Sure, I think out of 5 stars, I gave it 4.
Yeah, like I say, if you're not a Jack Kirby fan, you're gonna find faults.
Sure,
you're gonna find a lot of faults. It is what it is, though. It's a comic, so I would say if you're in that range, you're probably going to give it about a 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I said, my gauge is my wife and what she thought of it, because like I said, she's not the biggest superhero fan. She hasn't seen everything, but we both went into this and we both enjoyed it.
Yeah, so it's definitely one to go check out this summer season at the box office. And after you do, hit us up on the hashtag ODPH pod. Give us your takes on Fantastic Four First Steps by Marvel Studios and 20th Century Studios. We definitely want to hear them. So we're going to get a quick break. We'll be right back.
You ever wondered what comics Mark from Bale is into? What Zach from Left Behind's favorite MCU movies are? Well, Metalcore Nerds is the show for you. My name is Sean Mott, and here at Metalcore Nerds, we cover the latest things in pop culture, whether it be Star Wars, Marvel, DC, AEW, and everything else in between. You can listen to the show every Monday on Adobe How at 7 p.m. Eastern, or find it anywhere you find podcasts after it debuts on the radio station.
The content you are listening to is part of the Nerd Initiative Podcast Network. For more info about the home of pop culture positivity, check out nerdinitiative.com.
Coming back for another segment on this edition of the ODPH podcast, and it's time to talk about the biggest party in the WWE this summer.
Oh, baby.
Pad, what are we talking about?
SummerSlam.
Yes, the two-night affair taking place at MetLife Stadium is going to be one where all the world of pro wrestling is going to be watching, and there's a lot going on with this because obviously being the first of the two-night extravaganza, as Rich would say from 3FN.
Mm-hmm.
We don't exactly know the order of the card because there's a couple that could be the main event.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to kind of read through the matches and see. We have an idea who could be in the possible main event for this. But that being said, we got to start at the undercard first, and I think we're in agreement about what match is going to be starting that off.
Yeah, it's probably the one going to be opening because the crowd will be hot for it. That is a singles match between Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross.
So Karrion Kross has been pulling his best Mephisto in the WWE, trying to be the devil on the shoulder of Sami Zayn. And what he just wants is to have Sami tell him the truth. Mm-hmm. That's all he's asking.
Is that so much to ask?
Right. So they've had one match on a PLE before, and it went Sami Zayn's way, which was kind of a shock.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because of how much Kross is over with the internet wrestling community. But then this is also the same thing that happened with Zack Ryder way back when.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I would say if I had to make a bet on this, pending if you buy into the whole contract nonsense involving Karrion Kross and Scarlett,
yeah,
this is going to be Karrion Kross all day. I can't see him losing. How about you, Pat?
No, it's going to be Karrion Kross. Listen, Sami doesn't need to win. Sami, is fine as is. He's not going to be hurt if he ends up taking this loss. But I think all signs are pointing to Karrion Kross.
Right. So obviously a lot of championship matches going on this weekend, and let's talk about the women's championship match taking place.
So yeah, there is a singles match for the WWE Women's Championship taking place with Tiffany Stratton defending her belt against Jade Cargill.
So this could go either way, to be honest with you. They haven't done a real crazy build-up for this.
Right.
They were kind of teasing it a little bit.
Well, I had a hunch where this match was going to go, and then Naomi cashed in her briefcase.
Yeah, with Naomi cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase she won, this really tipped the hand about what Jade Cargill was going to do after she won Queen of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
And setting up her against Tiffany. I mean, I haven't said, in my opinion, I just don't think this had the strongest build.
No.
But I think this will be a very solid match.
Oh, yeah.
If I have to make a guess, I think Jade goes over and we say end new.
Okay. You know what? I don't know if Jade's quite there yet. She's good.
I don't think she is.
But I think Tiffany retains.
Yeah.
And we delay Jade's inevitable ascension down the road a little bit.
Yeah, I would not mind seeing it just a little bit. Like she is putting a lot of work getting used to the WWE style.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're going with this.
Yeah.
But it just kind of seemed like some of the matches have not been so crisp.
Yeah.
That when you get the title, you got to be delivering on that.
Yeah.
But the charisma could carry you through for this. But like I say, this one could go either way. But I'm agreeing with you. I think, like I say, we'll definitely have an entertaining match nevertheless.
Oh, absolutely.
Then if we're talking about women's championship gold, let's talk about the women's tag team championship
match.
match.
So this is the tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships with the Judgment Day and Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defending their belt against, well, probably the most unlikely tag team pair since Cesaro, or Claudio, as he's known by these days, and Sheamus when they formed The Bar, in Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, hashtag we're not friends. So this has been kind of a situation where I don't think the creative team had anything for Charlotte and Alexa.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So pairing them together has worked out very well. Like, I don't mind them as much together.
It doesn't feel as forced.
Yeah, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't feel as forced. Like, I think it's very generic, and they play off each other very well. But but obviously two veterans know what they're doing. And obviously with the storyline going on with Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne, more or less with Roxanne filling in the role of Liv Morgan while she's out on injury, this definitely is going to put that to a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
I could see, depending on where Liv is with her injury, her coming back and costing them the titles.
Yeah, I mean, if Dom's out there, there's a very good chance Liv shows up.
Yeah, so it is completely possible. I think no matter what, though, we're talking end new.
Oh, I agree. Listen, WWE, no matter who's in charge of things, loves their tag teams that are like, doesn't make any sense, kind of thrown together, and they get a decent title run out of them, and it makes sense.
Yeah, and plus, I think with Bliss and Flair as champions, if they want to even spend some time going down to NXT or even the TNA Knockout division, which I don't think either of them would have an issue going with for like one night to go wrestle somebody there. I think that could definitely help make some, eyes really pay attention to the product of the women's tag team division. Because I think that right now this is probably the title that gets the least amount of attention.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame because, you talk about the women's rosters on all the shows.
Oh.
They're absolutely crushing it right now. So,
Yeah.
the fact the tag team division could use a little shot in the arm, I think would definitely help. And then talking about, a little vaccination, so to speak, of shots in the arm. We have a very interesting combination that's going to be definitely drawing some eyes to tag team wrestling.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Because now we're dabbling in the celebrity world.
Yeah. So this is a tag team matchup with Drew McIntyre teaming up with Logan Paul, everyone's favorite wrestler on the planet, going up against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll.
Yes, the Jelly Roll, multi-platinum musician.
Uh-huh.
And this is definitely drawn attention. I will say this. Jelly Roll, I heard, was originally trying out for wrestling school before music.
I've heard a little bit of that too, yeah.
Yeah, he's lost a tremendous amount of weight.
Yeah.
And he has definitely understood and learned from Paul Heyman about working on a microphone. There was one interview he did. I can't remember what program it was, but he was talking about how Paul critiqued him.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, it's soaking it in like a sponge. So
Grammy-nominated CMT Award winner, CMA Award winner, iHeart Music Award winner, People's Choice Awards winner, People's Choice Country Award nominated. He won one of those. MTV Video Music Award nominated. Dude's everywhere.
He makes his rounds. And the thing is, he's charismatic as all hell.
Dude gave a wicked chokeslam to Logan Paul when he was guest hosting Jimmy Kimmel the other
Yeah.
week. Holy smokes.
Yeah, so they're definitely making do with all the celebrity that he's bringing.
Well, it also doesn't hurt who he's training with.
Right. So, that definitely helps.
Undertaker rolls through and Michelle McCool roll through, and they're like, oh, we just want to watch for a bit. And they end up staying there for multiple hours. Yeah, that ain't bad.
Yeah, so he's definitely got a lot of help behind him. I think they wind up taking this match outright.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think this hurts for either Drew or Logan.
Well, assuming Drew can get back stateside from that whole thing.
Yeah, that's a little messy situation going on. Passport issue?
So the way I understand it is he went over, he's a dual citizen. He's got a U.S. passport, and then he's also got a UK passport.
Yeah.
The way I understand it is he went back over to England for a wedding, and he only brought his UK passport. But to get back into the US from the UK, you need both. He did not have both, so ergo he is stuck overseas in the UK. Now, and he was in Scotland over the weekend from the videos he posted on. Now, this could be as simple as somebody flies a plane over and gets him the passport and he comes back. Or the easier one is he just goes to the consulate and gets a temporary one or a replacement one and goes that way. But I don't think he's going to miss SummerSlam, but I think it plays into the storyline wonderfully.
Well, you've seen everybody from The Miz to a few other wrestlers throw their hands up for sliding in this role because it is a high-profile position. So I will say no matter who's on the other side of the ring, it's all Jelly Roll and Randy Orton.
Agreed.
Speaking of tag team wrestling, this could be the main event.
It could be.
Because obviously the face team is always in the main event picture.
Throw the ones to the sky.
Yeah. Who we got, Pat?
You got the OTC, Roman Reigns, teaming up with main event Jey Uso, going up against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, who will, of course, have Paul Heyman in their corner.
So this is a solid filler match.
Oh, yeah.
Because Roman's coming back. With Seth Rollins being injured, this is definitely a main event caliber fill-in.
Oh, yeah.
And it gives him something to do because, he's going to be in a little bit of a program. I think they're all waiting to see about with Seth coming back.
Yep. The last I heard, because he was guest hosting the Rich Eisen's show, was they tried to do an X-ray or MRI or something, but the swelling on the knee was too much that they really couldn't get a clear look.
Yeah, so depending on what they're doing there.
That was like 2 weeks ago, so it's probably changed this time.
Putting Roman in this position.
Uh-huh.
Perfect sense.
Yeah.
And, I think this will buy some time. I don't think anybody's really expecting Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to take off and do something.
No.
So I could fully see this being Roman and Jay winning, and then we kind of wait to see what happens with Seth Rollins.
Yeah. And then what could also be the main event, and it might end up being, we'll see. This is a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship with Gunther defending his belt against the best in the world, CM Punk.
This is going to be a hell of a match.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, Gunther is really making a case for being the best wrestler on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact he got what he did out of Goldberg solidifies that. Anybody questioning, and especially adapting on the fly, getting a 15-minute match out of somebody that should not even be 15 seconds in the ring at this age.
Yep.
That says all you need to know about Gunther.
Yep.
Him and CM Punk definitely are putting on a program together.
Mm-hmm.
So this could go one of two ways, I feel.
Okay.
Now, depending on what they want to do with the Money in the Bank briefcase,
Sure.
I would not doubt, not saying this is going to happen, but this is kind of like if we want to do locks and leaps.
Yeah.
My leap is Reed and Breaker wind up costing Punk, and Rollins comes in for like a quick pin and takes off.
I know it's been thrown out there that the whole injury's a work and that he's actually going to show up and he's going to cash in and run away with the belt. And maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's a work. I really don't.
I don't either.
But it depends on if they wanted to do something kind of crazy to throw everybody off.
Sure.
This would be the way to do it.
Sure.
Because I think ultimately they're going to cost Punk either way.
Could be.
So I would say Gunther is going to retain.
Okay.
But I don't see anybody cashing in on him.
Okay.
Like, I think he's going to win the match outright.
Okay.
Because the only thing is, if you give it to Punk,
Right.
I mean, like I say, I could see him winning. But
Sure.
I feel, though, without Seth there, who's the immediate
Right.
next opponent?
Right.
And I just don't see them doing like a Jey Uso heel turn
Sure.
or somebody in that
Sure.
vein. So I'm going to say it's going to be Gunther. But I will say this: if Punk wins, I feel they'll cash in and they'll do something with it.
I would love to see CM Punk win this just because, as I've said before on the show, I did not get to watch the program WWE live when Punk was title holder. That was just before my time when I started watching. So I've not gotten to see Punk live hold the belt because, well, I don't watch AEW. I would love to see Punk win it. I'd love to see him get his moment. And, it's what he came back for. He wants to be title holder. It's all this stuff. But at the same token, I agree with you. Seth Rollins is the Lex Luthor to his Superman. He's the Joker to his Batman. He's the Green Goblin to his Spider-Man. Whatever analogy you want to use. That were Seth not injured, okay, yeah, sure, he'd probably have a match with Roman, whatever, but he'd inevitably end up cashing in on Punk and costing him and walking out the title holder. But since he's not there, I think the logical thing would be, Breaker and Gunther are probably going to come out and they're probably going to cost Rollins, or not Rollins, they're going to cost Punk the match. Punk is going to be pissed. We'll find out the next night, the immediate Monday Night Raw after this weekend. They did it on Rollins' orders. It'll probably be a segue to set up, a rematch of sorts between Gunther and Punk, and I believe the next one would be Clash in Paris. So you could set that up, and that's an easy fix, But I think ultimately at the end of the day, long story short, it's going to be Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where
Would love to see Punk win it. I just don't know.
But if he doesn't have anybody to fall back on,
right,
that's the problem. Unless there's one option they could do, but I don't see them going back and breaking the glass just yet for him and Drew. Yeah,
I mean, the only other one I could think of is because they had a little bit of interaction backstage. It'd be him and L.A. Knight.
Yeah, well, that's another one too they could mess with.
You never know.
They got a lot of ways to go. But that's night one.
Oh, yeah.
Then we take a look at night two.
I think we both know what's opening night two.
Break it down.
So night two taking place August 3rd. I'm going to guess it's this one because this is the most insane tag team match I've seen in my time watching. The 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The champions defending this are the Wyatt Six and Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy. Side note, shout out to the Wyatt Six who are getting prominently featured at the Universal Hollywood Horror Nights down in Universal this year. So shout out to them. They got a whole bunch of merch.
That's cool.
They got a whole bunch of merch and stuff going on down there. So shout out to them. But they're defending their belts against Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, Fraxium, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, and the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. This is going to be insanity, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think what I'd love to see them do, but this all depends because there's 6 matches on this night.
Yep.
You have to give them time.
Sure.
And I think having them open would be smart.
Yeah, especially since both nights are starting at 6.
Yeah. Because you want to get that crowd riled up.
Oh, baby.
All those teams are going to do a great job with it. I would not doubt Andrade and Phoenix walking out.
Oh, all right.
I think they're very high on those two right now. I mean, I know I'm actually pulling for Fraxium just because I want to see see our team over at Wrestling Night Live lose their minds. So, but like either way, they're going to steal the show. Like I think that's the mission that they should all have because it's been addressed, and even Sammy on Wrestling Night Live put it out best. Tag team wrestling is dead right now.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening with it.
Yeah.
If you want to get fans excited, you need to have that Hardy's, Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian moment.
Yeah.
You need to have something like that to fire them up. If you're
Yeah.
gonna put them all in the tag team and have them go crazy, this is the match to do it. They all got to do something wild.
Mm-hmm.
Get momentum swinging back. I think if you do that, it'd be great. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough one to call. But I'm gonna say Ray and Andrade.
My dream tag team match. You have to do this at WrestleMania. You can't do this anywhere else. We're close to it, but it's not the full thing. Lucha Bros, DIY, Usos, New Day, Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits.
I mean, it'd be a hell of a lineup to do, man.
It'd be the most insane tag team match WWE's put on since probably the one you mentioned with Dudley Boys. What was it? The Hardys, and then Edge and Christian. It'd be up there, but this is close. This is going to be amazing. There's going to be spots galore if you love spot fests. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay.
Just taking a leap. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anybody does. Then next up on another match that is highly anticipated, although for one person, not so much. He's probably still looking for a doctor's note to get out of this one. This is a singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship with Dominic Mysterio taking on AJ Styles.
This is a solid filler match. Because I think, like, obviously, AJ, if I am banking on this, I fully think he's eyeing Bound for Glory at TNA.
Probably.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
At this stage of his career, he doesn't need the IC title. He's an instant Hall of Famer, first ballot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they don't want him going in there with a belt.
Maybe.
For that match, because I fully think they're going to book him and Leon Slater.
Probably.
And that's what you should do.
Probably.
So this one, I think, would be a nice filler match. I do like Dominic retaining in this because of some shenanigans.
You mean the most over wrestler in AAA history right now?
Listen, Dom is crushing it right now. If anybody wants to learn how to be a heel, take notes. And I never thought I'd say that about the kid, but man,
no kidding.
He's proved me wrong. I eat my words every time.
No, I think Dominic's going to retain through some sort of nefarious means. We'll see.
Yeah.
Next up is a steel cage match for the WWE United States Championship with Solo Sikoa defending his belt against Jacob Fatu.
So I'm at two thoughts about this.
Okay.
One, I think Jacob is going to win.
Maybe.
But my second thought is I don't think he should. Here's why. Jacob is over and doesn't need that belt. If you take the belt off Solo, who's only had the belt for, a month maybe?
Give or take.
Where does that leave this whole Bloodline 2.0 or whatever the new name is for it? I apologize. I forget it. If you take it off him, he's now got to chase after Jacob. That's holding up his movement. I don't think you're doing a service to anybody.
Solo Sikoa won the United States Championship at Night of Champions on June 28th.
Yes.
So he has just had it over 2 months.
Okay.
As of this recording.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a tough point. With June 28th, yeah, it's about a month and a week.
Or just over a month.
Yeah, like I think that does a disservice to Solo. So I will be saying this. I hope Solo retains somehow.
Solo's going to retain through nefarious means because, he's got a larger group in his corner.
Yeah, but if Tama Tonga's healthy and can come back, I think he gets involved.
Yeah, it could be.
And I could see them trying to separate him and put him with Jacob.
Could be.
I could see that.
Just give me Gorillas of Destiny tag team.
Yeah, that's all I want. Put the GOD in that tag team match and watch them go.
Oh.
I mean,
I forgot to mention them. Yeah, Gorillas of Destiny being there, so it'd be a 7-team match.
I'm like, listen, I'm saying I'm optimistic, even though I don't think it's going to happen for next year WrestleMania. Usos GOD.
Oh, please.
Just give them one match. That's all they need. But we'll have to wait to see how this goes. But yeah, I think, like I say, Jacob should win this, but I don't like him having this because then you extend this feud and you're basically rehashing this.
Yeah, no, I think Solo's going to end up winning this one too. Next up is a no disqualification, no countout last chance match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship with Becky Lynch defending her belt against Lyra Valkyria. Now, the thing we should note, as I alluded to, it is a last chance match. So that means If Becky Lynch retains her title, Lyra Valkyria can no longer challenge for this title as long as Becky Lynch is champion.
Well, I'm going to say this outright. I think Lyra has a bright future. However, I think the experiment at this level is not working right now.
Okay.
I think that she really needs to work on her promos.
Sure.
Because last night on Monday Night Raw was not good.
No.
And she seemed very uncomfortable out there. And it did not come off well. I think in this situation, her chasing the opportunity to get a title would be more beneficial. I don't think that she should win the IC back. I think this should be Becky Lynch. And then you want to put a program with Bayley fighting Lyra, you can do that.
Sure.
I think that would help.
Sure.
But I think, though, there's just certain intangibles right now that she's struggling with, and I don't think that's doing any favors for her.
Okay.
So Becky all day.
I'm going to say Becky too, just because I'm kind of with you, but I'm not fully sold on Lyra yet. She's good. You know, I like.
Oh
her.
yeah,
I
she's
like
got
her.
a ton of potential.
I like her in the ring. You know, she's a fantastic talent, but she's just missing that one little, X factor to plug into the equation, to make it all kind of work out and balance out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, just the promo last night on Raw.
Yeah.
If you want to brave it. I think it was awful.
Yeah. Then you get to what I'm going to guess is probably going to be the co-main event of the evening, and this is a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship with Naomi defending her belt against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley.
Well, this is going to be a hell of a match.
Oh, my Lord have mercy.
I think
triple threat, anything goes. Naomi's going to bring out weapons.
I think had it not be for who's in the main event slot, this would have main evented.
Absolutely.
But this one, there's a great storyline going on with Rhea and Io.
Yeah.
Naomi as champion is getting overlooked. That's why I think she's going to retain.
Okay.
I think that she is really going to have a moment here. I would say maybe she'll have a standoff with Jade Cargill just for reasons. I don't know. In the backstage area with belt on belt. You could see something like that happen, but I think this is Naomi's time to shine and really show why she's one of the top wrestlers on the planet.
Agree with you that Naomi's going to win, but I think it's going to be for the reason that Io and Rhea can't get out of their own ways and are going to end up costing the other one. That Naomi's certainly going to play a factor in this and is certainly going to come out of this victorious, but Rhea Ripley wants this belt like nobody's business, and so does Io Sky. And I think their desperation to win that title back is going to ultimately be the cause of their loss in this match.
Yeah, maybe. But then we got one more.
Yeah, one more. This is the main event of the evening. This is the street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship with John Cena defending the belt against Cody Rhodes in his last ever SummerSlam.
So this has been an interesting build. Cody Rhodes is coming back to have the WrestleMania rematch. And this is one that's, let's talk about it. John Cena has only a certain amount of days left.
Yep, he loves to count them off.
So he's currently in a fantastic heel run. I know that there's been some people questioning about it. But this is one that I would say Cody, since he has returned, I could see him coming back.
Sure.
I could see him stealing this one. I could even see him joining The Rock if they want to rehash this.
Okay.
I'm hoping not. I really am hoping not.
I don't think so. I think the whole Rock thing has been dropped.
Yeah, I think that would be the way to treat this.
Yeah.
So
because the whole thing with Rock, and I know it was been reported, is Travis Scott was originally supposed to be in one of the upcoming DLCs for the video game.
Yeah.
But then that whole thing and the whole deal with him and the company fell through, and that's why El Grande Americano got slated into the release. So I think the whole thing with Rock and Cody and Sell Your Soul, I think that, especially with how busy Rock is. Listen, the only reason we got him in the build-up to WrestleMania 40 was the writer's strike and films getting stopped. I think the whole Rock Cody thing is going to get left by the wayside and just a forgotten piece of history.
I hope so. I really do. I just say I never say never with it, but
Sure.
there has to be a way for Cody to come back and go heel.
Sure.
Because Cena's right now in his heel renaissance.
Yeah.
So it's hard to. Were you going to have a heel versus heel? Like that's.
You could.
You could, but I think at this stage, I would not doubt to see Cody maybe cheat to win.
Yeah, it could be.
And then you can kind of build off this a little bit depending on what they want to do with Cena. But I think at the end of the day, you could have John Cena retain.
Yeah.
But then you fall in the same problem that CM Punk has. if he wins. Where do we go here?
Right.
And yeah, I mean, there are certain people that you could have a main event match with.
Sure.
You know, I mean, obviously, you could go anywhere from running it back with Ron Killings to do Jey Uso, LA Knight.
Yeah.
You know, a few of the brands he hasn't, or a few of the wrestlers he hasn't fought yet.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, we do know there's been the always teased, never done program between Cody and Randy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cody and Randy, that could be another thing too.
Sure.
But I'm saying for John Cena, though.
For John, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Cena's only got so many that he wants to go wrestle and do.
I wouldn't be surprised if after this, you know, he retains and then takes some time off.
He could, because
He's been doing a lot more over the last couple months than I figured he would.
Well, he's got Peacemaker coming out, so
True.
So
and Cody's also got Street Fighter. He's got to go film.
Yeah,
because
so
he's in Street Fighter.
They could go a lot of different ways with this. So I would say this: if they want to pull the double heel switch and have Cena go as face, but I don't like that idea just yet.
No.
I think what they should do, if the math is correct,
Yeah.
there's a Saturday night's main event that is in Boston in December.
Yeah.
I think you have Cena go face at Survivor Series.
Okay.
You can build it up a little bit until then, and then, like I say, you're not going to need anybody not cheering for him on his last night. He's going to get cheered like a hero's welcome in Boston.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you can keep the heel gimmick going until then.
Mm-hmm.
It's just with Cody, that's where the issue lies. But if he loses this,
right,
then you say he takes his ball and goes home, has to refine himself, and then he can come back as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that more so happening, but I would say unless they want to go early with the heel turn for Cody,
sure,
this would be the moment to do it. Otherwise, Cena retains easy.
So the way the shows work out for the rest of the year, for the main roster, the next one up after SummerSlam is going to be Clash in Paris. That's going to be on August 31st. That's going to be over in Paris, France, in case you couldn't figure that out. Then in October, you've got Crown Jewel taking place in Perth, Australia. And then at the end of November 29th in San Diego at Petco Park, you've got Survivor Series.
War Games.
Yep. So, and then after that, it's the Royal Rumble, which of course is taking place in 2026. So, I mean, plausibly you could set something up for Survivor Series, you know, Team Cena versus Team Cody, you know, and you could do something with like the double switch there. You know, you could get certain factors and certain players involved and make it a little bit easier there. But yeah, no, I agree with you. When we get to the Saturday night's main event that's taking place in Boston in December, there's no earthly way you can do that show and have Cena be the heel.
Yeah.
It's his last ever show. It is public. He has publicly said for over a year now, once he hits his last date, he is done. Mm-hmm. He has gone on record repeatedly and said how many dates he has left. He's done a counter on SmackDown. He's done a counter on Raw and counted down how many dates he has left.
Yeah.
It's going to be like trying to get CM Punk as a heel in Chicago. You got a better chance of me rooting for the Astros. You know, so I think I agree with you. I think at some point they'll do the double switch. I don't think it'll be here, though.
I don't think it'll be here, though. I mean, that's the only thing, unless they really want to go switch everything up.
I think because of the way the situation is, like you said, Cena's got Peacemaker Season 2 coming out, so he's going to have to do a whole press tour for that. Cody's got Street Fighter he's got to go film. I think what's ultimately going to end up happening, Cena's going to win, and they're both going to disappear for a couple of months.
Yeah, which is fine. WWE will be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still setting records on Netflix left and right, so they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, though, there's a lot of storylines that we had. Like I say, it's going to be a very interesting weekend with WWE, with SummerSlam, and that's going to be one that we'll be talking about here next week on the show. And if you even want more wrestling content, Wrestling Night Live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Nerd Initiative YouTube is going to be breaking it down. Plus, I believe they have one of those trademark pre-show extravaganzas, as Rich says. So definitely a lot of wrestling to talk. So in the meantime, hit us up on the hashtag ODPH pod. What is your thoughts for WWE SummerSlam 2025? Who do you think's taking what? Let's talk about it, shall we? We're going to get one last breakout. We'll be right back.
This is Tom from Tom Joe Lou,
This is Matt from Sideroom Sounds.
and you're listening to ODPH Podcast.
Wanna go where no one knows my name, to the desert, the oceans, or the plains. 'Cause I wanna go.
Coming back for the final segment on this edition of the ODPH podcast. Pad, what you got?
Got a couple things to talk about. First of which is obviously the local minute and looking at the standings for the Eastern League Division of AA Baseball, where our Binghamton Rumble Ponies play. Well, it might sound like a broken record, but hey, facts are facts, folks. Rumble Ponies are still in first place.
That's right.
Sitting in first place with a record of 64 wins, 30 losses. They are 14 games ahead of the Somerset Patriots, who are the Yankees affiliate. They are 14 and a half games ahead of the Hartford Yard Goats, who are the Colorado Rockies affiliate. 17 and a half games of the Portland Sea Dogs, who are the Boston Red Sox affiliate. 25 and a half games ahead of the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate. And they are 28 games ahead of the Reading Fightin' Phils, who, well, if you couldn't tell by the name, are the affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies. They had a couple of games this past week where they were in Reading playing the Phils. They lost the game on Tuesday by the final score of 6-3. One on Wednesday, 7-0. One on Thursday, 6-2. One on Friday, 12-9. One on Saturday, 9-2. And then one on Sunday, 17-3.
Jesus.
So they almost swept the Phils. They are home this week for a home series against the Harrisburg Senators. They are playing on, they are playing on Tuesday, where it is 6:07 p.m. Eastern, where that is a Bark at the Park night ode to Bulldogs. That is where, of course, says, quote, after breaking the record for the most pugs in 2024, we are back to set the record for the most Bulldogs in attendance in 2025. Says, join us for a special pregame Best in Show parade at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, highlighted by our Bulldog friends. It's also Mutt's Gone Nuts night. It says some of the world's most talented four-legged performers in an uproariously funny comedy dog show, all the way from the stages of America's Got Talent, is Mutt's Gone Nuts. Then you've got Wednesday, July 30th, which special start time, 1:05 p.m. Eastern. It is Super Splash Day. It says Mirabito Stadium turns into a water park day for 1 day only in honor of Super Splash Day. Water hoses, water guns, kiddie pools, and much more will help spray the grandstand between the innings. Be on the lookout as the City of Binghamton fire truck returns. Might be a great idea. It's supposed to be a hot one here in the area.
Yeah.
They will also be wearing the specialty jerseys, and they will be taking on the moniker of the Bathtub Donkeys. Thursday is at July 31st is at 6:07 p.m. Eastern. This is going on there. Speedy's Bowling Weekend. It says strike, spare, turkey, split. Join the Rumble Ponies for a weekend of bowling as they transform into the Binghamton Speedies. It's also a Lupo Speedy buy one, get one free special. It says, what is better than one Lupo Speedy sandwich? 2 for one night only. Take advantage of 2-for-1 pricing on chicken and pork Speedies. That is presented by the fine folks over at Lupo's. It's also got that going on. And then Friday, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, got another Speedy thing going on. Will also be a fireworks going on that night. Saturday is at 6:07 p.m. Eastern. And if you couldn't tell, the Speedy thing going on, because it is the Speedy Fest going on this weekend here in Binghamton. You've also got, says Binghamton Speedies bowling shirts. It says throw a strike next time you hit the lanes in your one-of-a-kind Binghamton Speedies bowling shirt. That'll be at the first 1,000 fans in attendance. And then Sunday is at 5:05 p.m. Eastern, where, again, you got the Speedy Fest going on. It's also a Kids Eat Free Sunday, Kids Club Saturday, and a senior stroll. So for more tickets, information, all that fun stuff, bingrp.com. Not too much going on for sports, so we're going to talk a couple things for entertainment. First of which is congratulations to James Gunn and the crew over at DC Studios.
Yes.
Because this past weekend, their Superman film has passed Man of Steel and is now the highest drawing Superman film of all time.
Congratulations.
Domestically, yeah.
Yep.
So, hey, in 2 weeks, it did pass those two films. So, hey, congratulations to them.
Yeah, definitely went this past weekend with my girlfriend, and she
Hey,
was loving it. So,
nice.
I mean, the whole thing is it's winning over
Yeah.
the pop culture audience, and I expect this to carry through probably this September, going into the fall with more projects being announced.
And then also in film news, if you're looking for something to watch, specifically the end of August, beginning of September, it is Back to Hogwarts celebration, which has become a thing with the Harry Potter fandom. The school year at Hogwarts in the Harry Potter books begins on September 1st, so a lot of fans like to do a movie rewatch or what have you. But if you want to do it a special way, Warner Brothers is re-releasing the first 4 films this upcoming end of August, beginning of September. So the article on Variety.com does read, quote, Warner Brothers is pulling out all the stops for this year's Back to Hogwarts celebration, marking nearly a quarter century since the first Harry Potter film enchanted audiences worldwide. The September 1st annual tradition has evolved into a mass global event spanning theatrical re-releases, digital partnerships, and fan experiences across multiple continents. The centerpiece of the 2025 festivities is a special 20th anniversary theatrical re-release of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, hitting cinemas worldwide for a limited engagement. In the U.S., fans can catch the Triwizard Tournament spectacle through official ticketing partner Fandango, with promotional giveaways planned. International territories include Canada, EMEA regions, and other markets will also participate in the theatrical rollout. Warner Brothers has inked a partnership with Snap Inc. for 4 new 3D Harry Potter Bitmoji lenses launching mid-August. The interactive filters will allow global Snapchat users to place their Bitmojis into iconic scenes from the franchise, including the Dursley's home, Platform 9 3/4, and the Goblet of Fire ceremony and the wizard chess sequence from Philosopher's Stone, close quote. So I do know it's very limited engagements, but they are going to be releasing Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, and Goblet of Fire from that whole weekend. So definitely give it a check on your local website, your local theater when those show times are, because I know my wife and I, we might go see at least the first 2.
We'll just say reasons I will not be going.
That's understandable. And then we got a little project coming out next week from the fine folks over at Marvel with how many episodes is this thing? A couple episodes of the upcoming Marvel television animation series, Eyes of Wakanda.
Yeah, the highly anticipated MCU animation show is going to be finally debuting.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of hype behind this. I saw the first trailer came out. Trailer looked good.
I like the animation style. It's different.
Yeah, it definitely looked a little different than what we've seen out of Marvel, but I'm excited to see it. I think that this would be one that definitely, if you're a fan of the Black Panther series, you're going to really fall in love with it, and especially, seeing the different sides of the Wakanda. Yeah. Like I say, I'm excited to see what we got coming here.
Anytime we can get more Marvel stuff, and especially Wakanda, because those movies are fantastic. Yes. I am all sorts of excited for.
Yeah. So obviously, this week was San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to be talking about that on Turn a Page this week. So if you're subscribed to the ODPH, you'll have that episode lined up for you after this one tonight. So overall, though, kind of a quieter weekend per se. I know there was no Marvel and DC panels.
Yeah.
Peacemaker was there representing in Hall H, but a lot of comic stuff going on. And we're talking comics coming out of that. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be pleasing fans at the comic shop this week. So, Pat, what you picking up?
Picking up Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 19 from Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto. This one reads, 3-way dance, all-out war. Fisk versus Mr. Negative versus Mysterio.
Ooh.
With Spider-Man and his allies caught in the middle, will the Sinister Six destroy New York before they destroy each other? Definitely going to want to read that. Also going to want to read Star Wars The High Republic, the finale from Marvel and Cavan Scott. So this reads, the end of the beginning. The final battle between the Jedi and the Nihil has been fought. Sacrifices have been made and the dust settles. As friends and allies gather for one last celebration, a decision is made and a fate sealed. Guest starring faces from across the best-selling multimedia initiative, all roads lead to Dalna. So this one, if you've been keeping up with the High Republic multimedia, like I said, multimedia, because it's been adult novels, young adult novels, junior novels, comics of various levels, audio dramas. It's been one of the most insane undertakings the folks over at Lucasfilm have done that I can never remember. But this one shot is going to serve as a finale to the whole thing. Now. We'll see. There's been talk from the folks that be that, you know what, while the initiative may come to an end, some of the stories may not. We'll see. Nothing has been announced, but, definitely going to want to give this a pickup if you've been keeping up with that. Then you've got Star Wars Hyperspace Stories, Tides of Terror, issue number 1 from George Mann. This one reads, Jedi Master Kit Fisto has been sent to the ocean planet Torbus alongside Mace Windu, Shaak Ti. They go to investigate a controversial underwater research facility. But when disaster strikes, his diplomatic excursion quickly becomes a rescue mission. Kit Fisto and his fellow Jedi must race against the clock to save innocent lives from the hungry leviathans that circle in the depths, close quote. So this one, definitely going to be awesome. All the hyperspace story stuff.
Hyperspace stuff by Dark Horse
Highly
is
underrated.
really, really underrated.
And then the one you're not going to want to miss this week because, oh, lordy, everyone's going to be talking about this one. Folks, Dennis Camp has done it again. Ultimates issue number 14. Quote, and I'm not spoiling anything on this because they're on the cover, folks. Quote, the Ultimate Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. The Ultimate's next mission? Destroy one of the Hellfire Club's strongholds, but a dangerous pair of twins complicates matters, ... Yeah, folks, the Ultimate's Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch just got placed on the chessboard, and it's going to get real interesting.
What they're setting up for the Ultimates, like, listen, we're going to discuss it on Turn a Page. You're not going to want to miss it, but especially what Dennis Camp has been constructing over at the Ultimates is top shelf.
So good.
Yeah. I have got a few that, like I say, I'm still finalizing my list as we're recording. That's how coming out of San Diego. Been a little overwhelming, but if you want to find out what I'm picking up, definitely make sure you're following Nerd Initiative, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday because it's New Comic Book Day, and then noon the videos start over on the YouTube Shorts. So, like we say always, nobody does New Comic Book Day quite like the Nerd Initiative bullpen. Nobody. So that being said, that's it for entertainment and sports and pro wrestling and everything that we do in the Fusion edition of the ODPH. If you want to find out more, odphpodcast.com is the place you got to go. So on behalf of the one and only Padawan J,
fuck the Astros.
I'm your host, Ken M. Thank you as always for listening to the ODPH podcast. We'll see you next time.
It's such waste of time swiping left and swiping right on people you could know. 'Cause anyone who's worth a damn be worth way more than a picture could ever show. You could find the right light, find the right angle, and never find your soul. And it can feel like a losing battle, and this plot is full of holes. This modern way of finding love just makes me feel so alone. And I can't be the only one sick of staring at my phone. So look up, talk to me, a better way to spend our energy. Just look up, talk to me. We don't have to float alone on the open sea. Don't know that I believe in the old time fable. Everyone has just one true love. All I know is you're across this table, and you're all I'm thinking of. So look up, talk to me, a better way to spend our energy. Just look up, talk to me. We don't have to float alone on the open sea. Ooh, ooh, talk to me. Ooh, talk to me. It's such waste of time swiping left and swiping right on people you could know.